Good morning, welcome back to Mona's Take. I am your host, Mona Rose, and we are here to talk about everything reality TV. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything I have coming up. Alright, we're going to pick up where we left off. Big Brother live feeds the last 24 hours. People are acting on a whole nother level on that. Can't wait to see that karma train coming through. Choo-choo. Mood of the day. Really? You gotta give us more credit than that. Some people, buckle up, buttercup. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. The first conversation that we see is between Terrence and Monty. Terrence tells Monty that neither Brittany nor Michael should win this game. If Michael wins the veto next week, y'all take out Brittany, because I don't want to see them sitting in the chairs next to each other on finale night, because I don't want to give either one of them the money. Terrence said that Kyle was led to believe that and didn't say no, so the timing is suspect. Again, talking about Michael and Brittany. He says Michael and Brittany's principles and morals are effed up. Monty said that Taylor is falling for their lies and he wished she would get it. But if she doesn't, then he'll have to vote her out too. He said, but I'm trying to make her see. Terrence said the problem is, 1, she's an only child. 2, she never really had any friends. The little friends she does claim, they are manufactured. This is his new favorite word, is manufactured. He said it's not genuine bonds. He said it's like you and your bros that you went to college with. Y'all went through fire together. Her friends just went through a pageant together and decided to click up. This conversation was a very hard conversation for me to follow because I was getting more pissed the more they talked. Terrence said it ain't no real friends. She doesn't know how to make friends. So the little bit of attention that she gets, she latches onto for dear life. And there's more. He said, you hold on to it for dear life because you don't have no real genuine connections. And Brittany will make her feel all the love, 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 like she's just really loves you. And Michael will do the same thing. Monty said, the thing is, she should have seen it clear as day when Michael didn't use the veto on her and used it on Brittany instead. Monty said Kyle most definitely had his wrongs, but Michael and Brittany need to speak up to America, specifically white America, about silence and what silence could do. When you don't speak up, when you see something's wrong. Monty says that he doesn't like the fact that Taylor still thinks that she respects them and she's still talking to them and hanging out with them. Monty said, they lost me. They don't know they lost me, but they did. When they sat there and said it wasn't good for their game. Of course it was good for their game. Monty says, next week Michael and Brittany are on the block, so if he wins, he can only take himself down, and Brittany will go home. And Terrence is acting like Daniel. He is a very, very poor loser. And he's taken out everything on Michael and Brittany. He doesn't know how to play this game. He hasn't known how to play this game. He's aligned with the wrong people from the beginning. And you just happen to be on the opposite side of the house. Whine about it. Win a competition. Do something. Everybody said, oh, he won an HOH. No, he didn't. He came in second place. Michael won the HOH. And that was a situation where it wasn't a head-to-head for all of them. It was you pick 2 people to go up against each other and one gets knocked out. So I'm guessing that probably most of the people that were sitting on the other side that had gotten knocked out by somebody else probably could have taken second. So I'm not giving him that win. The one in the backyard, he had the most advantage on that because of the way it was set up, the wind in the backyard, where it came through in the backyard. And so, I mean, I'll give him the win. He got it done. But he didn't win HOH. Honestly, to me, he's acting like a little bitch boy. It's like Daniel all over again. Turner tells Michael and Taylor that Terrence isn't talking to him. He said, I have no idea what's going on, but him and Monty were talking in the car room. I walked in and he quit talking. And he was like, okay, that was weird, dude. He hasn't spoke to him. When he does speak to him, when Turner does speak to Terrence, he doesn't respond. Taylor said, I haven't done a damn thing to him. And Turner said, same. And Michael said, I took him off the block when he didn't want me to. And Turner said, does he not know that he needs votes to stay this week? And Michael said, but does he not realize that he would have gone home that week if I hadn't have taken him off the block? And that's back when it was bestie besties and he was up with Joseph and Monty. He would have been the one to go home. Taylor said, I've been nothing but kind and gracious to this man for entirely too long. Turner said, I'm getting Daniel vibes, exactly what I said. And Taylor said, exactly. It's late night in the bathroom and they start talking about their first jobs. And what I found really interesting was one of Turner's first jobs was actually doing graphic design and editing videos for WWE, which is the World Wrestling Association, that you see on TV, which I thought that was just pretty cool. So that wrapped up for last night. This morning, Terrence is pulling a Daniel. He's not speaking to anyone except Alyssa and Monty. Everybody else has come through there and said good morning. He's in the kitchen. Nothing. No response whatsoever. Actually, Alyssa said good morning. He didn't speak to her. He did speak to Monty this morning. So in the veto today, if Michael wins the veto, he will break the record for the most vetoes in one season. And there's like 5 or 6 of them that have that. They have 5 veto comps. So if he wins today, that gives him 6, and he breaks all of those. As well as being tied for Janelle for 9 competitions in one season. They pulled the players for the veto. Terrence actually gets house guest choice. And there's only Taylor and Turner left. And surprisingly, he picked Taylor to play for him. So Turner will be hosting. The next conversation that we see, Terrence asks Taylor after the veto picks if he can talk to her. She walks in the room and she says, why haven't we spoken until now? And he said, I just feel a strong disconnect, a very strong disconnect. And he said, y'all pay attention to this conversation and tell me what you got out of it. Put it in the comments. He said, part of it's his part and he'll own his part. He says he's going to call a house meeting later on today, but he's going to give her a preview of what the house meeting is going to be about. He said, I was just angry about the whole situation. And yeah, Kyle played a role in that. He says probably a significant role. But I still feel like other people held the bat too. He said he paid attention to what happened last week, and I couldn't have a conversation with you. He said, let's start back with Direfest, when the house split. He said, Michael and Brittany had information that affected every minority in the house. He said, you know of a person that was doing things against black people and you stood by, and then the feed's cut. They came on a few minutes later. He's talking about Brittany and Taylor and saying who and why were his reasons, talking about Turner and why he put them up. All of these were like half sentences, so I had a hard time keeping up. He said, again, he brings up the plan A and he denies saying it. He brings up the plan A that I believe it was Taylor overheard him saying. It may have been Brittany. One of them overheard him after the veto, and Michael won the veto, and they said, oh, well, there goes plan A. I guess we'll have to go to plan B. So he's still denying that he said that. He says, Turner's the only one that can make that plan. He had the power. I didn't have the power. He said that keeping her on the block to save Brittany just proved that he has no loyalty to Taylor. That all of his loyalty is to Brittany. He says, your relationship with Brittany and Michael disgusts me. It's so fake. And they are manipulating you. He said, Michael and Brittany are making things and they're doing all these distractions so they don't have to face what's going on. He says they're just as much as guilty as Kyle is. I disagree. Yeah, they have a part to play, but I don't think they're just as guilty as Kyle. They're not the ones that came up with it. He said that keeping Kyle, and he knows it would have messed up her game. And I know how you are with your... I'm going to start over. He said that keeping Kyle, and he knows that it would have messed up her game. And I know how you are with your vindictiveness. I know how you move in this game. So there was just no point in having that conversation with you. He says, it was just a thought, and I squashed it. I killed it immediately. No, dude, you didn't squash it. The rest of the house did when they told you hell no. You went to everybody in that house except for Michael. And evidently he tried to go to Michael, and Michael told him he didn't want to talk game. But he went to everybody else in that house and told them, except for Taylor, and told them that he wanted to keep Kyle and his reasoning. No, he didn't squash a damn thing. The house squashed it. Ugh. He says that he didn't like the fact that Kyle was the only one to be reprimanded for the situation. He said, I want you to see your game differently and look at it from an outside person's perspective and the optics that it looks like. It's not good optics. There goes that word again, optics. The friendship to me is manufactured. He says, I think of you as different. I just don't like what I see. He said, I'm not angry at you. I'm angry about the situation that you're directly connected to. And then he tells her that he picked her to play in the veto because he wanted to show her that he did rock with her and that he didn't have any bad feelings and that he did love her. Yeah, that's how you talk about somebody you love? My BS meter was pegged to the roof during this conversation. I'm hoping that that conversation doesn't cloud her judgment and where she's going, because Taylor will change her mind depending on who she's talking to. We saw that with Joseph. He was able to manipulate her during her HOH. So I'm really hoping that she's just letting him talk and that she's not taking any of this shit seriously. He said, the bad thing... Oh, sorry. I said... I got off on it. The bad thing is he's blaming Michael and Brittany for using this as a game move. What the hell is he doing? Trying to keep Kyle? He was using the situation for a game move. Because it was better for his game to keep Kyle than Taylor. To me, if he wants to put all the blame on Michael and Brittany for all this shit, he should take that blame too, because he's using this exact situation for a game move. I told y'all, this conversation had me heated. It was just so condescending and him talking down to her. And I just kept waiting for Taylor to tell him to get bent. But with all the class that she has, she kept it together. She was nice. She was polite. She didn't show him that his ass was going home this week. She just, I hear you. I hear you. He basically said that he wanted her to see who she could truly trust and who she can work with going forward. That she can't trust Michael and Brittany, that they're fake. And she said, you know what, I can hold a lot in. She said, that doesn't mean that I don't see clearly. You can't let people know that you see clearly, because then you end up on the block and you go home. Like Zingbot calling me a bitch. I was like, yeah. I saw that coming. He tells her that he's pretending to be mad at her. For what? Why would he be pretending to be mad at Taylor? They're not working together. Doesn't make sense. There's no reasoning whatsoever. He is so full of shit. He needs to follow Daniel right out the door. He lays out the votes for Alyssa to her, which her and Brittany and Michael have already gone over those votes. They know them. She says, we've been on opposite sides of the house. We played a different game. We played the game that was dealt to us. Oh. His thing is he keeps going around saying, nobody's playing the game. Nobody's playing the game. Y'all are all stupid. You're not playing the game. Open your eyes. They've been playing the game this whole entire time. He needs to catch up. Everyone is playing in Veto Comp except for Turner. Like I said, he's hosting. And I guess Terrence doesn't need a house meeting now because he called every single person in there except for Michael and Brittany. Had the same talk with them, and then he went up and had the talk with Michael again. So I don't guess he has to have a house meeting now. Terrence goes up to talk to Michael, and he asks Michael if he's the house target, or if he's the target. And Michael tells Terrence that he would be a fool to keep someone who has been actively working to get him out. He tells Michael that everyone outside had the same plan coming back in, and it was to backdoor him. And Michael said, who's everyone? He said, everyone, all four of us. So he threw Alyssa, Kyle, and Turner under the bus. Terrence said, I was at the bottom of the pack. I was just following for them to keep me one more week. He keeps saying that was the deal. They were going to keep me safe just one more week. No, that wasn't the deal. You guys were in an alliance, and you were going to take out the other side of the house, including Michael. He said, so I'm not the one that came up with the plan. I was on the bottom of the pack. Terrence said he's not going to take a hit for people who actually made up the plan. He said, and Michael said, well, what would you have suggested that I do? I'm not going to put up Brittany and Taylor. I'm not going to put up Monty. I told Turner he would be safe this week. So that leaves you and Alyssa. What else would you have had me do? And Terrence told him that he would have broken the promise to Turner. That Turner would have been the one to go up because, you know, he was Kyle's right-hand man. And he was the one trying to backdoor you. Oh, Lord, he's good at playing the martyr. And I think, honestly, that Terrence is just pissed off that he knows he voted out Joseph. And that he voted out Joseph under the ruse of a lie. And I don't mean an outright lie, but he believed everything Kyle said and nothing Joseph said. And if he had known the information about Kyle, Kyle would have went home instead of Joseph. That's what I mean by that. And I think he's just taking out his frustrations on Michael and Brittany. The veto was BB Comics. They've done really good at guessing what the comps are this year. I've never really seen that. I know that in the past years, they make guesses, but they're hardly ever right. This year, they've been pretty spot on when they've been anticipating an upcoming competition. So, our veto winner is Michael. He has now broken the record for the most he has broken the record for the most veto wins in one season. There was a bunch of different people that had it at 5. He surpassed them. So he is now the record holder for the most vetoes in one season. He has tied Janelle for the most comp wins in one season when you combine the HOH and the vetoes. So if he gets one more comp, he's going to break all the records in Big Brother as far as comp wins go. That's about all I have for you guys tonight. It's been a pretty slow day. I actually went to sleep while they were doing the veto, hence you guys have me in my natural state. So I wanted to get this loaded and up. But tomorrow, they're not going to have a whole lot going on. I assume they're probably going to have the backyard back. So I may not do a video tomorrow. I need to catch up on my house and my rest and all of that. I'm getting pretty tired. So I think I'm going to take tomorrow off. And I'll be back Monday with the veto ceremony video. I don't expect anything to change. I expect Noms to stay the same. And I expect Terrence to go home this week. Unless there's another big shakeup in the house, I think it's going to be a pretty straightforward week. They're just going to have to listen to Terrence bitch all week. But hey, what else is new, right? So, see you guys on Monday. Have a great day. And as always, much love.